It is time for our fifth panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen, the Smart Energy and Water Desalination Technologies, moderated by Dr. Mohamad Dawoud, the Water Resources Advisor of the Environment Agency in Abu Dhabi. The participating delegates are Mr. Ahmed Samir El-Bermbali, the Acting Strategy and Operations Director, Clean Energy Business Council, Mr. Mohamed Saleh, the Water Senior Specialist in the Department of Energy in Abu Dhabi, and Dr. Mahmoud Al-Hadhr, the Asset Information Section Head, Allied Distribution Company. And of course, we have Mr. Miguel with us as well right here. Please welcome your panel.
Good afternoon. I know that it's too late and you become very sleepy. I'm sorry for this, but we will speak now about very interesting two natural resources or man-made resources at some times. We will speak about energy and water, and especially about smart energy and smart water. Before we start, I will ask you two questions. How many resources, water resources we do have in Abu Dhabi and in UAE and in GCC in general? 3. Groundwater, desalinated water, and reuse of tertiary treated wastewater. How much water we are produced from the desalination? 2 billion cubic meter. 2 billion, we are the second largest country all over the world producing desalinated water. Let us start our session, and I'm sure it will be very interesting with our esteemed panelists today. Ahmed, this is the first time to hear about Clean Energy Business Council. What is your objective? How you can help us to shape the future of energy, the green energy in the country?
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. My name is Ahmed Samir. I work as a Strategy and Operation Manager at the Clean Energy Business Council. So for you, if you don't know what's the Clean Energy Business Council, it's actually, we are almost 10 years old this year. And we are based out in Masdar City here in Abu Dhabi. We are trying actually to link the international stakeholders with the local stakeholders, mainly to promote clean energy in general. At CBC, we work in 3 different verticals. We work to promote energy efficiency, climate finance, and future of mobility. And mainly the focus now is on electric vehicles. So it's a little bit different from the other topic of the panel, which is water. So I'll took what we do at CBC now. So we have been trying to be the voice of the private sector when we talk to the government stakeholders. So we try to push new regulations. We try to make sure that there is actually an understanding and there's a link always between the private and the government sector. So just yesterday we had an amazing meeting with Dubai Supreme Council of Energy, Ittihad ESCO, and Dubai RSP. We came up with all the energy efficient, the ESCO companies who are members of our organization, and we had a meeting that it was very transparent, very open meeting that where the government actually shared what's happening in the sector, and the private sector, they shared what are the challenges they are facing. That's the kind of things we do, and that's why I try to push to make sure that there's no challenge for the private sector and the business is open for everyone.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mahmoud, you are from the Allied Distribution Company. Sometimes we are shocked when we hear about the consumption per capita, the daily consumption per capita, or the average daily consumption per capita in UAE, 500 and above.
530 actually, yeah.
What is that challenging? How we can face this challenge? What is your role and your mandate in the line distribution? And what is the role of the smart water in the future to minimize this?
So thank you so much for the question. First of all, I'm Mahmoud Al-Hadhr from AADC, Allied Distribution Company. AADC is basically supplying power and water, but it has part of the business is also to support the innovation to reduce the consumption. As Dr. Mohammed indicated that the average consumption per capita in UAE about 350 liters per day, which is 3 times than the average, above the average, of course. This is a huge challenge that the sector, the energy sector has to focus on and to try to find the solutions. One of the solutions is the initiative from Ministry of Industry and Energy in 2017 they established a strategy, they call it water scarcity strategy, national water scarcity strategy. And as per the strategy, we should minimize the consumption by half within 2036. By 2036, it should be half consumption. And in order to do this, we have to implement new technologies to increase the awareness, of course. But implementing new innovations I think, is the main activity should be done. So recently, we established a new technique to reduce the water consumption in the shower. And this is part of the strategy. But this is not enough, of course. The main track is to enhance the awareness or to increase the awareness as we go along.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahmoud. Mohammed al-Hadhrami from the Department of Energy. What is the role of Department of Energy in shaping the future in water and energy in the future? And actually, I have another question for you. What is the role of reusing treated wastewater in the future?
Thank you very much for allowing me to have this opportunity. I thank everybody here, starting from Tib till you, Dr. Mohamed. First of all, Department of Energy is the policymaker and the regulator for the sector of energy in Abu Dhabi Emirates. Abu Dhabi Emirates is the capital of UAE. 80% of the total, or the size of it is 80% of the total emirate. We, as you mentioned in your introduction, or maybe the pop-up question, yeah, 2 billion is the production for UAE. Approximately 1 billion is Abu Dhabi. So we are also half of the production of UAE. We have more than, with the sector operating company, we have more than 9 production plants. We are, as a regulator, making sure that those production plants and also the sector is operating in a way that will provide the services in reliable, efficient, and environmental friendly. This is our role and mandate, protecting the customer from the monopoly of the sector, and also supporting the efficiency and the right for those customers. So, in light with 2 questions you answered, you directed to me. One of them is the role of the Department of Energy, and there is water reuse. Before I start answer this question, I want to tell you that recently in 2019 we have launched our demand-side management strategy, which will shape the efficiency for the sector that needed from the consumers for the next 10 years as 2030 strategy, which include all the Abu Dhabi Emirate entities and who's living in Abu Dhabi Emirate, aiming for 32% reduction in water quantity and 22% reduction in electricity or energy, which is we see it's a big challenge in light with the recent weather condition that we have in Abu Dhabi. Just quickly, with regard the water reuse, one of the main program that contribute to those saving is water reuse, water efficiency and water reuse program, which aim to at least by those program to reduce 21% of that, or the contribution 20% of the 32%. So 32%, only 21% of it is recycled water and reuse. And with the sector companies that we have, there is a big project going to launched already in Abu Dhabi to utilize 100% of the treated water that goes to the sea by almost 100% by 2021 or 2022. This is the approximate ending time, which will increase the consumption, or it will substitute approximately more than 380 million cubic meter per year from the total potable water produced. So this is, we depend on this project, and the success of that project will support Abu Dhabi vision and Abu Dhabi strategy, and also support the energy of Ministry of Energy and Industry in UAE.
Thanks, Mohammed. This is good news that we will reach finally zero discharge of treated wastewater to the environment. Miguel, 40% of our water coming from desalination, which is very expensive, energy consumption, environmental impacts. What's the challenges? What is the role of new innovative technology and using renewable energy in the desalination sector in the future?
This is a good question. I think our crystal ball is not so clear today, but I think we have some trends. I have presented what is the trend of our industry. Desalination, I think, is growing a lot. We are in a marginal phase because for the last 40 years we have had a lot of innovation. I think one of the challenges we have in the sector is just to bring innovation as soon as we can, because it's the only way just to overpass these challenges. But to bring innovation, there is, I think, one of the key issues that never discussed. The water should be profitable. Perhaps I am working in a private company, and one of the targets is not only just to have environmental services on construction, just is to be profitable, because it's the better way just to be sustainable. So all you are paying, they need to have a payback. So I think part of the problems on the challenge we need to overpass in the next decade is just to pay for the real cost of the water. Otherwise, you are wasting the water. You have not a real value, either from desalination, either from water reuse. Nobody is thinking what you are phoning. Don't pay for the cellular. You pay. And you pay 3 times more in a month than the water you are consuming. So if I need to put the challenge, is just to pay for the real value in order to be more sustainable, to bring more innovation and pay for this innovation, and motivate the private companies, public companies, decision makers to invest in water innovation.
Thanks, Miguel. Ahmed, the last question for you. In 2 minutes, how you can tell us up to date what has happened in MENA region regarding the smart energy and the green energy?
I can say from my observations, like at CBC we have over 120 members, like, and they are very diverse. Like we have oil and gas companies, we have energy companies, we have some auto desalination startups, like all very diverse. So I can see where it's going, and also from our interactions with the government stakeholders, we can see also how the regulations are moving. So recently we have been having a lot of meetings with the government stakeholders, so members can actually know what's happening now. And they can see there is a huge potential, and there is a huge movement to adopt regulations that make the market much easier for all the different companies, like especially in the energy efficiency sector, not just in the UAE, by the way, in the whole GCC region. Like Saudi is moving, making a huge movements in this. Abu Dhabi just launched the Abu Dhabi Super ESCO like a few weeks ago. We can see the potential here. That's one. Two, also from the other, because when you say smart energy, there's different aspects of it. So energy efficiency, we have smart mobility as well. Like the mobility also in the region, I think Abu Dhabi is a little bit behind in this, but I think it's moving. So we had a meeting with Abu Dhabi Department of Energy, and there's also a lot of movement going to happen in the mobility sector in Abu Dhabi right now. Dubai, they are doing a great effort now. You can charge, if you have an electric vehicle till end of 2021, you can charge it for free, which makes it like this kind of incentivization for the end consumer as well makes much more sense. And all of this eventually, like you can see the big picture that in terms of like mobility, energy efficiency, either it's for buildings, for industries, all of this makes, like you can see the whole picture is going more into renewable energy, which makes more sense also economically and for the community. So I'd say we are very optimistic, and also actually we even have some members who are actually members and they are not in the UAE, so they just joined because they see the market is going and they want to move to the UAE at some point or expand to the UAE. There's interest from outside the country as well. So we are very optimistic, and I think things are going very well, and we're looking forward to it.
Very good. Dr. Mahmoud, what makes you also optimistic about the future of the water consumption and smart water and energy as a distributor?
Maybe the practice happened in 2018 and 19 provides positive insight actually. you know, the tariff charges or structure has been changed in 2018. So the cost of the water now increased, but the consumption remains the same. Sorry, the consumption getting less, because if the people forced to pay more, they will pay more attention to the consumption. And this is very promising. Yeah, if you used to pay 100 dirham for water, you're still paying 100 dirham per month, but you reduce the consumption. So it's a part of awareness, and a proper regulation also in the place will motivate people to control more, to monitor the consumption, to pay more attention to the overall consumption, especially at the households, because households consumes about 20 to 30% of the overall consumption. 70 to 70%, 75% goes for plantation, which is a huge, right? And if you measure this on the UAE scale, if you could save 5 liters per day per use, you could save at least 7 times Dubai Aquarium per day. Only reducing the consumption 5 liters, we are consuming 530 liters per day. So with little effort, you could make a big change, and this is happening today. The consumption reduced, and this is a good news for the sector, because we are investing a lot to keep the supply 24/7. In order to keep this, we have installed so many assets, right, to keep this service continuous. But if the consumption getting reduced, which means our investment will be reduced as well. And this is happening today. Yeah, we are very happy in the sector to see these figures and these results. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed. Engineer Mohammed, we are speaking sometimes about decoupling of water and energy. What is the future? And it could help us to increase the efficiency of the production of the water and energy?
Already been started. The efforts has been started in Abu Dhabi toward decoupling, or let's put it in this context, find the best energy mix.
Yes.
You know, we are going, you know, very shortly we'll have 200 million gallon will be from RO, which is something that's very promising to Abu Dhabi. We'll have the electricity coming also from nuclear. So this is kind of decoupling. We have also solar, the largest, the largest power plant from solar in the world with 1.1 gigawatt. We will have also the 2 gigawatt also from solar. So we are also going toward decoupling, looking for technologies. If it is coming, improving, it's good, and you know it's viable economically and technically. We are accepting this. So Abu Dhabi is going to have the best, cheapest energy mix in order also to reduce the burden on the tariff. You know, which is, I also disagree with the gentlemen here. Tariff is not everything. Also, we have technology should be introduced, which is coming either from innovation or existing technology. Also, the admin or the legal or the economic way that will also limit the control the consumption.
But this will allow in the future us to use the membrane technology, which is more efficient than the thermal technology.
Yes, RO is there. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
we are there. You know, and so doing this. You know, we are not denying that the RO technology or membrane technology, either from desalinating the water or desalinating even the groundwater, which is
Yes.
not something that we're not promoting for time being, the groundwater because of depletion. But yes, RO is our goal and one of our main main technologies that we are looking for in the future, and we already started adopting it.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Miguel, how we can increase the reliability on the desalination and reuse in the future?
How we can increase? Well, looking for the future is always difficult, but I think one of the things is happening in this market. Of course, we have the contradiction. We need to promote more the water reuse because it's an existing source we need to use in order first to reduce the cost, look for application. But I think today the challenge we have in desalination water reuse is not only just to have new solutions, just to minimize the operational cost, because that's the trend we have done in our companies. We did a lot of investment, we bring a lot of innovation just to minimize the water cost production.
Yeah.
Today, the target, I live in Paris. In Paris, the production of the water must be 0.3, 0.4 cents of euro per cubic meter. But I pay a bill of 4 euros per cubic meter. When is coming this difference? Today, desalination and water reuse start to be a mature market. Yes. So we need to invest in services to improve the reliability, to improve the network, to minimize what you are, the leaks, to be more profitable in what we are doing, to be more professional, trainings. So that is the only way if we can reduce the operational cost when the water consumption is reduced. I remember I was building the desalination plant in Barcelona. They implement a plan just to reduce the consumption. They reduce in only 2 years 30%. The problem is coming just to equilibrate the tariffs because you have less consumption and you need to increase the others. So the only way is just to improve all the services around the water, either from desalination, water reuse, using renewable energies in any field, because the renewable energy allows just to reduce the electricity cost. So that's beneficial. We need to use all of the innovation just to optimize the production. At the same time, we don't forget the electricity is not a decision, it's a decision of the government just to find what is the best mix. It's not only linked to desalination, it's only used by a governmental decision.
Thank you very much, Miguel. We just hit the time, and I would like to thank, on behalf of you, to thank our esteemed panelists today, and thank you for participation and be our audience today. Thank you very much. See you. Question? One question, please. Multiple? Allow it for us? Yes. The organizer is just flagging me that the time is on. Okay, please, اتفضل.
Professor, why?
Can you introduce yourself first?
Sorry?
Can you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, my name is Vikram Mahankal. I'm an innovator from India. I've made a machine which converts seawater or any wastewater, even this sewage water into distilled water without the use of membranes, without the use of chemicals, without the use of reverse osmosis, removing all pathogens, viruses, dissolved gases, metals like arsenic, cadmium, chromium, platinum inside, and giving you pure crystal clear H2O without using electricity, fossil fuels, without using anything that is going to add on to carbon emissions. It's 100% green technology, zero carbon effect, and currently my stall is here, E3, kindly visit.
We will visit it, sure. This is very interesting.
I raised temperatures to 450 degrees plus centigrade. The evaporation of water starts from any temperature above zero. You might agree with me. But the steam, which is vapor and the steam and superheated steam, starts developing after 100 degrees to 150 to 60 degrees centigrade. I achieve temperatures of 450. And I have so much of energy in my machine, which, you can do so many different things with that kind of energy. We do not require nuclear power. We do not require solar energy. We do not require electrical energy. 50% cut down on this. Please visit.
Sure. We promise.
I have proof of concept. We have patents.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best. Any other final questions, please? The last one. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We see you later. Thanks. شكرا.